Hey everybody, Teresa here from Inspirations and Cards. Finally have my munchkins down, so a little delayed, a little slight detour in the bedtime happenings tonight, but I'm here to share the last of my alternatives with this past month's Paper Pumpkin kit, the Expressions in Color kit. I'm so excited to share these last couple projects with you, and I'm excited that next week I should have in hand this month's kit. The Adventure Begins, I believe, is the title of that one. So let's flip this around and just get started on some crafting tonight. Okay. All right, so here is our last look at this lovely little box that I'm going to repurpose to hold some crafting supplies. Of course, we've got the 2 Stampin' Spots, although tonight I'm only using one of them. And then we've got our stamp set for this month's kit. And this is what I have left. So after my projects tonight, I'll have a couple of strips of one of the vellum pieces, one of the die cuts, and not much else. So I have a few more of the vellum phrases. Here we go. That's just all gonna go in there and get tucked away. But I am going to need twine, of course, my dimensionals, and I only have, there we go, I have one lowly sequin left from the kit. You can see I used a lot of those. All right, so let's just dive right in today. And so this, here we go. All right, so what I have for this card here is one of the smaller Evening Evergreen card bases. So I still had one of those left. And then I have a piece of Evening Evergreen. This is from the 6x6 newest In Color Designer Series paper pack. So this is just a piece right on there. And then of course I've got the vellum bouquet. I trimmed a couple of pieces off of that, and then I've got our banner here. So let's just dive right in and get this folded in half. And there we go. And let's get this stuck on here as well with my Stampin' Seal. There we go. All right, and that's just gonna go right on there. So we've got a little bit of that plain card base sticking around. Go. All right, and to stick this guy on here, I'm gonna use a little bit of my Tombow liquid glue. I'm gonna be very strategic in where I place the glue. Now the nice thing with this is it does dry clear, so you don't really notice it, but I am still going to try and keep my glue to where the design of the bouquet is a little bit thicker. So that's where I'm going to stick my glue. Definitely want that to hold in place. All right, I think that's pretty good. All right, and that I'm just going to flip right over. And it just sticks out over my piece of designer series paper just a touch. So I trimmed off a couple little pieces, although you probably don't really notice. But it doesn't stick out over the card base, which was kind of the goal there. All right, so there, that is that. So I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna grab our banner here, and we'll stick with the congratulations, I think. There we go. See if I can actually get that straight on my block. Maybe not. There we go. All right. So just gently tapping that onto my ink pad. And there we go. Just like that. All right. And I'm going to give that a minute to dry. And what I'm going to do is just grab a little bit of my twine here. So I'm not too worried about it going inside the card base, although if you want, you can tuck it behind the designer series paper instead. And I'm actually going to give this 2 goes around. I've got plenty of twine still. So there we go. All right. Let's just even that out a little bit. Here we go. One more little adjustment here. Here we go. And I'm just going to tie this over here on the side because I'm going to have the stamped banner is just going to go over here. So if you need to, you can hold that in place with a glue dot. There we go. Just going to give that a little adjustment. There we go. So still fairly tight. There we go. And here's our phrase. We'll just flip that over. Throw those on there and peel the backs off. Just like that. There we go. And my lonely last sequin now has a home. Oops. So there we go. And of course, you can't have a naked envelope. So I'm just going to grab the small flower here. I love using this on the inside of the cards and on the envelopes. This is a nice little quick way to just add just a little something so people can get a bit of a taste of what's coming inside the envelope. And there's still lots of room for return addresses, postage, and all that good stuff on there. All right. So first card, our second card, here we go, is this one here. So somehow I've actually managed to use just about all my supplies on this month's card kit. Some months I get through the supplies a little bit better than others. When I look at some of my past kits, I definitely, there's definitely some that still have a lot of pieces left. All right, so there's our card base. I'm going to set that off to the side. And this is just one of the alcohol technique pieces that came in the kit. I'm just actually going to flip this over. A little something different. And I'm going to use the Floral Bouquet stamp image. There we go. And I am using this piece here, so I want to bring a little bit of that Evening Evergreen into the card. So I'm just going to do a little bit of something just kind of around the edges. You're not going to see too much of that center because it's going to get covered with our other pieces. And we'll do one more, just kind of like that. Here we go. So almost like a wreath. That last one was a little, a little more towards the center, but that's okay. All right, so tuck that aside for now. And let's pull in this piece here. And this one here, I'm going to do, I'm always in need of thank you cards. So I'm going to use the thanks, which if you saw my live crafting session last week, one of the cards I showed from, I think it was from my online paper pumpkin class, we used the thanks in this one and it just fits inside the border. Oh, see, and that's what I was trying to avoid. There we go. And just, there we go. So it just fits. All right, so let's close this guy up for good. Go. All right, we'll set that aside to dry and bring this back in. Okay, and this guy is actually going to get popped up on some dimensionals in just a second. So I'm going to actually start by adding on my pieces here. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to use a few glue dots on the back here. So I'm going to quickly grab my take your pick tool. Go. And I'm just going to put them at the base. So one in the center there, and then just at the base of each of the branches. And that one decided to peel for me already, so there we go. And one more. And you may need to just kind of squish in your glue dots just a little bit, just so they're not peeking out from behind the branches. There we go. This one's definitely going to need a squish, a little bit of a tuck. That's really easy to do, just like that. All right, and so this is just going to go kind of in the center here. There we go. And then one more. There we go. And I'm just going to do a couple more, again, just towards the center here. And we'll put that one right there. And again, just going to peel the backs off of the glue dots. Go. And that's going to go just like that. So you can still see that evening evergreen kind of poking through behind. And then that's going to go just right there on top. Again, with a couple of dimensionals, because I'm going to pop this up with glue dots, I mean. So I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. So I don't want to... Some people would actually also pop up the banner with dimensionals as well. In the interest of keeping things simple when I do end up popping this in the mail. I don't want it too thick. And we'll just throw on one more just for good measure because this one got a little squished. There we go. There we go. All right, that's going to go just right there in the center. And then we'll just flip this over. And because this one is a bit of a bigger piece, I'm going to throw one more right in the center. There we go. And so this is just going to go right in the center of that card base, just like that. And I'm going to add a little more of that evening evergreen, just with a quick, simple cases like this. I always like to have a little bit more as opposed to a little bit less. I can always trim it down after. But you definitely can add on. And one more time. So there we go. So a few little of the evening evergreen elements just to kind of tie that all together. And again, of course, one more time with our small little bloom here and our evening evergreen. There we go. So there are our two cards for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the crafting session. Sorry for the delay, but next week I will be back with this month's kit, The Adventure Begins. If you missed out on signing up for the July Paper Pumpkin kit, don't worry. I will be posting the sneak peek for the August kit very soon. This one was actually designed by Stampin' Up's co-founder Shelly, and I'm loving the colors, and there's butterflies in it, so of course I love it. So I might be a little biased, but I will share a sneak peek on my Facebook page here, so stay tuned, and I'm hoping that I will have it in my hands to unbox and craft with you next Monday night right here. So I'm going to go and just put on the kettle, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. We'll see you soon. Bye.